Welcome to the Frank Prince Show, only on Madhouse TV. I'm your host, Frank Prince. Little shout out to my last guest. Um, Thank you for being on the show, Timmy Walsh from the band Running Loose. And today I have the privilege of interviewing comedian Les Baer.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here again, Frank.
Pleasure to have you again.
The pleasure's all yours.
That's right. Pleasure's all mine. I just said that. I took the words out of my mouth.
There you go.
And tell us, what do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I do a number of things. My main job is I'm in sales.
Okay.
I work for probably the largest distributor of products for the food industry and other industries as well, Imperial Bag and Paper. I'm a salesman, and I sell everything from napkins to toilet paper. So I got you covered on both ends.
Oh, good, except
That's it.
selling yourself,
That's it.
you know.
And,
You have to have a full-time job. You know,
Absolutely.
with
To live on-
comedy doesn't get us anywhere.
to live on
you know.
Long Island, you have
Yeah,
to be
it's
employed
really
and have
rough.
a job. Yes.
Yeah, so when did you get into comedy?
I've been doing the comedy thing about 3-4 years now. My girlfriend got me a gift certificate to do stand-up comedy classes, and I love comedy. I've always loved comedy, and I got hooked. It grabbed onto me. We put together a show, the graduation show. The audience response was so amazing that I said, "Hey, I got to keep doing this," and I've been doing it 3 or 4 years, and I love it. I love making people laugh, love telling jokes, and that's how it all started.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Hofstra University. I could have gone to Harvard or Yale if I'd been accepted, but I went to Hofstra. I was a biology major and a psych minor, and as you can tell, I did a lot with my biology and psychology. Yes, I always said I wanted to be a Jewish gynecologist. Changed my name to Dr. Goldfinger, but it's
Lipschitz.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Yeah, something
Harvey
like that.
Lipschitz. That's a good one.
Those were the 6 best years of my life at Hofstra University.
No, I mean comedy school.
Comedy school.
Well, you
Yeah.
said you got a gift certificate.
I did the comedy. I did the comedy thing. I also play in a bluegrass band. I play banjo in a 5-piece band that's been together for over 40 years.
I never seen bluegrass.
You've never seen bluegrass?
No.
I'll get some paint and you've seen green grass.
Green, absolutely.
Well, I'll have to give you one of my CDs.
Weed. Yeah,
Yes, that's
there you
it.
go.
There you go.
That's good. Makes you happy. So when did you do this?
Do what?
No, stand up.
Stand up? Well, we started 3 or 4 years ago, and
Yeah, I asked you that
it's been.
before,
You asked me that, but it's been doing. I've been on shows with some of the bigger comedians here on Long Island, Chris Monty, Chris Roach, a number of other people, Paul Bond. I've done Governors, done some shows at Governors, at the Brokerage, private shows, private parties, and the reaction's been really good. I've been really, really happy. It's very nerve-wracking to do it, but
It
it's.
is.
I remember the first time I did it at Governors, the graduation show, and I was backstage in the green room waiting. Everybody, you're watching what's going on the stage, and the nerves were just running wild. I couldn't sit still until you go on. But once you hit the stage, as soon as you get the first laugh,
Right.
it calms you down.
Who were some of your mentors?
Oh, jeez. I don't know if I had any mentors, so to speak. I just like all different types of comedy, whether it's dirty comedy, clean comedy. I like it all. And the guys who play the clubs here on Long Island are some of the funniest people and some of the nicest people I've met. Chris Monty and Chris Roach are just,
they are.
they're just gems. And Laurie Palmentary is doing really well. John Ziegler is another one who's got some great material. Such really nice people. It's a tough business. It's tough to make a living doing comedy unless you become
Yes,
a big
it
name.
is. Yeah. How did you put the banjo in with comedy?
Actually, when I started doing the comedy class, it was just me alone.
Right.
And John Truson, who ran the class, who works at Governors, I had mentioned to him that I play banjo. He says, "Why don't you work the banjo into the act?" And so I brought it to the classes, and it seemed to work itself in between the jokes, doing a few notes here and there. And I did a show up at Woodlock Pines in the Poconos. And one of the judges at the show came up to me and he said, "The banjo is great." It's sort of like what Bob Hope would always do in between his jokes. He'd say, "Well, I want to tell you. Well, I want to tell you." The banjo, just doing a few notes in between the jokes, seems to fill it in. And he said he loved it. He liked, I do mostly one-liners. And he liked the one-liners versus a lot of the comedians who do these long stories and work comedy into the stories.
What is the feeling like, just going out there?
It's hard to describe. It's just a feeling of, I guess, euphoria. Going out on a stage. The first show we did, I did at Governor's. There were 200 people in the audience, and it was just an amazing feeling that people are laughing at these jokes that you're telling them. And when I did the show at the nightclub at Woodlock Pines, there were about 400 people in the audience, and they all started laughing. And they know me. I've been going to Woodlock Pines for 25 years, and they know me, and they get it. And the place was rolling. I was on such a high. It was great.
Yes. What would you suggest to people that are nervous, that they have their dreams, but they don't want to do it?
Don't do it. Leave more room for me. Don't do it. No, you know what? You've got to try it. It's a question of overcoming your fear. It's like people who are afraid of public speaking. It doesn't have to be comedy. If you're afraid to get up in front of people, this is a great way to overcome that fear. There were people in the comedy class who said they were afraid to get up, and they would stutter and stutter, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. I remember in college, I was afraid to get up in front and speak in front of people, and I took a public speaking course, and it was one of the most valuable courses I took at Hofstra, other than cafeteria.
What do you learn in comedy school? How do you get your material?
You either write your material or you find some obscure material. The teacher in the class, and John Truson does the class over at Governor's. Rich Walker and Peter Bales and Steve Lazarus do it over at the Brokerage. And they work with you, and they work on wording. I know, talking to Joe DeVito, who's one of my favorite comics, who's constantly writing and coming up with new material, he's a stickler for the order of the words in a joke. And he keeps working it and reworking it until it's just right. And it is an art.
Have you performed in the city?
Yes, I did the Stand, which is one of the, I guess, one of the more popular comedy clubs in the city. The reaction was terrific. In fact, I use my stint at the Stand, as they say, I use that as a video to show people, and the crowd reaction was it was great. I loved it, and I'm hoping to do more things in the city. It's a question of, when you work all day and then you come home and then you go back into the city again, it's tiring, but I'm going to start doing that more and more.
And there's open mics all over the place, right?
Oh, there's so many open mics you can't even keep track of
How
them
does
all.
that work?
The open mics, the open mics are tough because sometimes it's what they call a bringer show, where you have to bring a certain number of people. How many times can you keep bringing people to see your show? You have to keep getting new people. I can't ask my friends who've seen my show 2 and 3 times to come to the show another 2 or 3 times. They can get up and do the act.
Right.
So,
True.
So it's tough, but I do have a bunch of people who live in Manhattan who haven't seen me yet. So I'm going to hit a couple of the clubs in the city and give it a shot. I just love doing it.
It's an addiction.
It really is an addiction. It's an addiction if people are laughing and enjoying what you're doing. If you're getting up there and bombing and nobody's laughing and they keep not laughing no matter where you do the show, I mean, sort of like take the hint and stop doing it.
Right.
But if they're laughing and they're enjoying it, the show I did at the Stand, they had a talent scout there. And after the show, this guy came up to me and he said, "You were hysterical, blah, blah, blah," the whole thing. And it turns out his girlfriend was the talent scout. And he said, "I'm going to talk to her about you."
That's great.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
Absolutely.
Now, is the comedy different from Long Island to New York City? Or
No, I would say it's pretty much
Same?
the same. There's so many different styles of comedy. You got someone like Mitch Fattel, who's got his own style of comedy. Gilbert Gottfried's got his unique style of comedy. So it's pretty much the same. The New York comics come out to Long Island, and the three clubs out here on the island are bringing in all the big names in comedy. So they're doing a great job of bringing live comedy to the people at reasonable prices.
Yes.
Which is very important, because the city clubs are very expensive.
They are.
And out here, Governor's, Brokerage, McGuire's, they're very reasonable.
I'd rather go to Long Island.
Absolutely.
Support
Absolutely.
all your Long Island clubs, Brokerage,
right.
McGuire's, and Governors.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to pay $21.95 to go on the train.
Yep.
That's one, and then, the
Yeah.
admission fee, and you got everything right here. At
So
your
it's all
local
out
clubs.
here, and the food
they
prices and the
treat you
drink
great.
prices are reasonable.
Mhm.
And it's just a great atmosphere. The people who go to these clubs, they want to just have a good time and laugh. They're not there to heckle anybody
No,
and
it's-
cause a problem. They just really enjoy themselves.
Today you need that.
Yeah.
What's going on in the world.
There's so
today.
much. There's so much stress to go out a couple of nights a week and have a few laughs. It's good for you.
You do that. You need a club, but you could do that anywhere.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
make people smile and laugh. I
It's
look
a-
at
it's an
people,
act.
they're like,
They laugh.
well, they'll laugh at my face, but
That's it.
that's okay. I look like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
But, you just got to keep getting out there,
The funny part is a lot of what I do is about my ex-wife. And she's been to my show 3 times. And she laughs at the jokes. I'm making fun of her, and she's laughing at the jokes. So,
Have you done anything, jokes about your job?
no, I haven't. And I'm trying to come up with some jokes that have to do with the job. But I want to keep my job. So it's... actually, the owners of the company said they want to come and see me, so I may have to.
You have to throw some zingers in there.
Yes,
If they want to come see you,
Yeah. That's it.
why not? You get more material out of it.
Yep.
Now, how do you, your material, you write your own stuff?
I write some of it, and then I find some obscure material. I'm always listening to things, and I try to put things together in a story, but incorporating one-liners. So, when I talk about my ex-wife, I'll say, something like, "I never knew what real happiness was until I got married, but then it was too late." So,
True.
There we go. The camera.
There you go.
Yeah,
Two of those.
only 2? Okay.
And you're going to perform for us today.
Oh, I am? Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, Now, how can people get a hold of you if they want to book you?
Just grab me. Oh,
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
yeah. You can reach me at banjoless@aol.com. Now, this show is live. I will be appearing on November 15th
Okay.
at the tallest building on Long Island. Probably the tallest building in the world. It's got more stories in it than anything. It's a library. But it's, I'll be at the Wantor Library with Mark Breyer and a couple of other comedians. I've done a number of the library shows with Mark. And it's great because you get a lot of senior citizens
Right.
that come to the shows. And I guess the nice part about it is that you can use the same material because they don't remember it from one show to the next.
Right. And they need to laugh too.
That's right. Now, they're a very good crowd. We did a show at the Elmont Library last year that they have a big theater. And there are about 300-400 people there. And the people at the library said, "You got to keep it clean." So my whole act went out the window. But after the show, this 80-year-old woman comes up to me and she said, "Where were the dirty jokes?" She was one of the dirty jokes.
They told you to keep it clean.
That's
So
it.
you have
I
to
said,
do
talk
an
to-
act for
talk-
her. You
talk to
got to
the-
do it for her.
That's it. Talk to the
Tell
librarian.
her to bring your her friends and you do
That's-
another show somewhere.
That's right.
Do it now. Go ahead. She could be watching. You never know.
No, she could be.
You never know. You never know. This goes all over the world. That's what I like about internet TV. It's global.
Well, I just told my son, who called me a few minutes ago before the show started, he's in Rome right now
Oh,
on his honeymoon. And I said, watch Madhouse TV if you can pick it up in Rome.
You can. Anywhere.
He was in Greece and Rome.
In Greece and Rome.
Right.
Reach your peace. There you
All right.
go. So, you're going to be doing more shows.
Oh, yes, I hope so. And, I'm available.
You are available.
Absolutely. And I'm looking into actually putting together some shows
That's what
also.
I was.
Yeah, I'm trying to work with Woodlock Pines on doing a comedy club type atmosphere, up there. And then I've talked to a couple of restaurants here on Long Island about possibly doing shows at the restaurants. So they're all thinking about it, and hopefully, people will support it, and if it happens, and come out.
That's the buzz. Everybody's doing it now.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
I've never seen so many restaurants with comedy nights now,
Well,
and it's incredible. You produce a lot of the shows too.
yeah, I'm working on it. I'll be producing more. 2015.
Right.
Needed a little hiatus.
Hard to believe. 2015.
Take a break.
Right.
Well, it's around the corner.
Yes.
Got to take care of yourself first.
Exactly.
And then go back to doing what you love.
Yep.
But these restaurants, they have an overhead, and if they're going to make more money, they're going to book comedy.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah,
Make money.
comedy's the biggest. Yeah, karaoke too, but you never know. But
Mm,
comedy is good.
yes. It's the best. Eat and laugh, and hopefully you don't choke on your food.
Everybody loves it.
That's true.
When we did that show at Sergio's, everybody
It was great.
loved
That
it,
was
and
two great shows at Sergio's. That was sold-out shows, and everybody loved it.
yeah, and they want me to do another one, so I told them I will
Good.
eventually.
You have my phone number, right?
Yeah, you'll be all right. But I have to worry about the snow and all that. You don't want to. It's tough. Mother Nature could
Wait till
dampen. The act could go down the crapper.
wait till the spring.
Yeah, absolutely. So where else would you like to go perform?
I will go just about anywhere to do the comedy stuff. It's such an enjoyable thing for me. It's whether it's up in the mountains or in a club out here or a restaurant. People, like I said, people can reach me at banjoless@aol.com, and just put in the subject line that you're interested in, and I'll get right back to you.
Who are your favorite comedians?
Oh my God, the list is endless. I love Rodney Dangerfield. I love Henny Youngman. I was in the Virgin Islands in college, and I was walking down the street, and I had my Hofstra sports thing on with the HU and a number, and I look, and there's Henny Youngman in one of the stores in the shopping mall in St. Thomas, and I go, hey, Henny Youngman. He still looks at me and says, hey kid, they left the laundry marker in your shirt, So Henny Youngman, I like them all. I like I said, Chris Roach, Chris Monty, Gilbert Gottfried, Joe DeVito, Laurie Palmentieri. I love them all because they're all different styles. They all have their unique way of doing things, and if it makes me laugh, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You just got to keep plugging away.
That's
you
it.
know?
That's exactly right.
All right, we're going to go take a commercial break, and we'll be right back, and you'll be seeing the comedy stylings of Les Baer.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the comedy stylings of Mr. Les Bear.
Thank you, Frank. Let me ask you, if Russia attacked China from the rear, would Greece help? So this guy goes to the doctor, and he says, "Doc, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't get this song out of my head. All day long, I keep hearing this song, The Green Grass at Home, The Green Grass at Home. I sing it, I hum it. I can't get it out of my head day and night. I can't sleep." He says, what is it, Doc? The doctor says, "I think you got Tom Jones syndrome." So he says, "Is it common?" He says, "No, it's not unusual." So you drive along the highway, and this big sign on the highway, these billboards, says, "We buy ugly houses." I called him and gave him my neighbor's phone number. So there's, the United States is the dumbing down of America. People are getting dumber and dumber and dumber. You go into these fast food places all over. I can't believe some of the things. I went into McDonald's. I said, "I want a half a dozen chicken nuggets." She said, "I'm sorry, sir, we only have 6 and 12. And then I said to the girl, "I would like a large soda." "Sorry, we only have small and medium." Now, small and medium. In order to have a large soda, medium, don't you have to have 3 sizes? 2 sizes just don't cut it. Now, over on Old Country Road, they just opened a Denny's. Big sign for the promotional opening, senior citizens. Buy one, get one free. I have 2 old people working at my house now. I don't know if you heard about a couple of weeks ago, the president of Dunkin' Donuts died. They found him in his room, glazed eyes. You should see, there were 1,100 cops at the funeral. A friend of mine's grandfather died recently, and this guy in his last 5 or 10 years was taken by the GPSs. And he was fascinated how it could know every street, every name. All he did was listen to his GPS. He would drive around, the GPS would tell him where to go. And at the funeral, his son, as a fitting tribute, they took the GPS and they put it in the coffin with him. And as they're lowering the coffin into the ground, it went off. It said, "Arriving at final destination." Well, I'm one of these people, like you, Frank, that hates political correctness. And there's just too much of it going on in the world. And I went into the bank the other day, and as I'm going into the bank, there's this black kid standing in front of the bank. He's looking at me. And I go in, come out of the bank, this black kid's still there, comes up to me and he says, "Hey, mister, any change?" I looked at him and said, "Nope, you're still black." So did you hear about the 2 gay Irishmen? Morris Fitzpatrick and Patrick Fitzmaurice? Well, since I do a lot of work with the senior citizens, there's a new wine on the market specifically designed for senior citizens. Contains an anti-diuretic. It's called Pinot Noir. And just heard this senior citizen story about these 2 guys, 85 years old, playing golf. And one of the guys hits his ball into the rough, goes over, pick up the ball, and there's a frog next to the ball. Frog says to him, "If you pick me up and kiss me, I'll turn into a beautiful woman and you'll have sex for the rest of your life whenever you want it." Guy takes the frog, picks him up, puts it in his golf bag and zippers it up. His friend looks at him and says, "What'd you do that for?" He says, "At my age, I'd rather have a talking frog." Well, that's it, Frankie. Back to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Awesome job. That about wraps it up. Oh, over there. There, I'm looking in the camera. That's it. Over there.
Right there.
All right. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you same time next week. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Take care. Peace.